Dios. Sorry, Agora is down.
It's rising. My experience in Agora, I arrived 1 day ago, so my experience is short, but I like very much the fact that the venue is kind of a do-it-yourself exhibition somehow, with a very spontaneous approach to the state of the space itself that speaks a lot about the intention of the curatorial team here, and I think it's a good collection of works, diversity of understandings, and some also experimental stakes with some performatic, as you can hear probably in the back, things. And I think that the challenge was to do something in the current moment in Athens that is meaningful for probably for the artistic community, rather than a broader understanding of what is the social movement. Because on other words, on the other hand, how to bring together all the constellation of social movements and social claims in a real autonomous and political level, and make it pertinent or meaningful. So I mean, I think that with the available means and the available time and the possibilities that were possible, the project itself is fulfilling many of the intentions, and probably, as we said, bringing together here in Athens many artists with concerns about the current situation. And I would have liked to see more clear the curatorial process to arrive here. So more kind of, maybe the content would have been the continent. Let's say that the Biennale itself and how it has been given shape by the group to be more transmitted somehow to the people visiting and not being hidden behind. Because I think it was a very also innovative way, for sure not accept of difficulties, but always worth to understand better.
What I enjoy about the Biennale is the open structure it has, where you don't know what's going to happen. Like it seems like it's something very open, and chaos is being embedded in the structure of the Biennale, which I think is good because it gives some flexibility. The other thing I felt worked for me is the fact that there is certain horizontality in the works, in the way in which artists are being shown. Like you have somebody like Hito or Fernardo, who are very well known internationally, but here they blend very nicely with the work of local artists who are younger and who are doing experimental work. I think this is very nice, and also the fact that there were so many Greek artists, for me, is a very good point, because it's a format that can help for them to be together and think as a collective generation and also collective identity in the arts, or at least challenge these ideas by being together in the same space. And I feel it's not an exporting Biennale. Many people do Biennales to export to the art world, international art world. This is more, looks that it's trying to function for the local context and to have a dialogue inside this context. And hopefully this will happen.
It's a little bit hard actually, but hopefully we will manage.
I mean, I feel that's the reto, that's the challenge of this Biennale. How can you create a dialogue with the place in a sustainable way, and what is the impact of this in the future? I think it should not be just an open-ended answer, but just ongoing conversation, hopefully. One thing that I miss in this Biennale, but also we're here for a very short time, so I think maybe if you're longer, is the connection with reality a little bit. I think the fact that, for example, yesterday I came to the hotel and I saw the news about the Golden Dome members who were arrested, put in prison, and it was a huge international event, and we were here and we didn't hear about it in this context of the Biennale. I think that signals that maybe there is a little more work to do in terms of how you connect with what is happening outside.
The two previous answers were, I would agree with a lot of that. What I think is that the idea of using art to answer some of the questions that that are being asked is a really interesting strategy, because although I definitely agree with Tania that this is a biennial that is responding to local conditions, at this particular moment the local conditions that Greece is confronting are just the avant-garde of a kind of reformulation of neoliberalism. So these are not individual questions to Greece. Of course there's particular and the effects to here, but I mean the United States is a couple steps behind, Europe is a couple steps behind, and even China now is starting to be plagued with some of the same problems. And so in this sense these are global, Spain for sure. In a sense these are global questions that are being asked, and for this art is both incredibly effective and incredibly ineffective to kind of grapple with. And so I was really interested when I was asked to do the biennial. I actually said no at first, and then I thought about it, and when I found out it was in the stock exchange, which is like a walking zombie or a standing zombie,
all the way.
I was it kind of turned me on a little bit intellectually, and I decided that it would be very interesting to kind of respond to the particular context, both formally. My piece, it's a very formal solution, but also intellectually. So I was happy to be here.
What was my experience here? So questioning the term experience was a crucial moment in the talk I did not give today. What is an experience actually? Does it still exist? What does it mean in an economy which is so much based on spectacle? What is an experience? Can we still have an authentic experience, or is it dissolved somehow in the society of spectacle, of commodification, of city marketing, and so on and so on? But in the talk, I was replacing this with the term of education, right? I mean, regardless of whether you can have an experience or not, you can still get an education. And sometimes even, under the most difficult circumstances, which will be able to give you the most, let's say, cutting-edge education. And I feel that this is what I experienced here, if you want to, It's an education of how to do art under situations, under conditions of extreme austerity, and how to find new solutions. And in this sense, I feel like I'm a student in this kind of conditions, and it's extremely instructive to me to have this kind of education.